is our momentum call. This is where you get your questions answered. This is where you get some motivation and accountability. No question is a stupid question. The Let Them Theory is a book by one of my favorite authors. Her name is Mel Robbins. She actually created a book years ago called The 5 Second Rule. And the 5 second rule, she talks about how in 5 seconds, an idea pops in your head, and in 5 seconds, you either going to talk yourself out of the idea or you're going to go ahead and start making a move, right? And when I learned about that, it helped me understand my entrepreneur mindset because I was all over the place, right? But now her newest book is called The Let Them Theory. And so I want to put this on your heart, and you guys can answer at the end. So the Let Them Theory is essentially anytime that we have a relationship, whether it's a business relationship or a personal relationship, a relationship with our kids, relationship with other adults, we have to let go of the idea of trying to control the relationship, trying to control whether they text you or not, trying to control if they tell you something you think that they should tell you, trying to control the outcome. We should live life doing the let me theory. So first, when someone does something that is not something that pleases you, you have to first say, I'm gonna just let them be them. I'm just gonna accept them from what they're showing me, right? But then you have to bounce it back to yourself and say, let me. I'm gonna let that person not reply to my text, but let me do what? So I want to put this on your heart and get you guys thinking about this. When is the last time that something has happened? And again, this doesn't have to be personal. It could be business. It could just be while you were driving. Something has happened. Someone cut you off in traffic, whatever, where something has happened and it upset you just a little bit. But not only did it upset you, it changed your mood for the rest of the day. I want you to think about that situation, but go ahead and say, let me. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and let them cut me off, but let me do what? Let me switch lanes. Let me get way away from this person so they won't do it at the next stoplight, right? What is it that you can do that is in your control? Because that's all we can do, guys, is we can control ourselves. What I learned by reading this book is I learned to let clients do what they do. But I also had to bounce it back to me and say, let me what? Let me seek a different kind of clientele. Let me invest in people that can help me find that clientele. Let me start doing a tour where I am talking on platforms. Let me start doing some podcasts. What is it that you're going to let happen, but also bounce it back to you so you can do an action so that you can do the only thing you can do, which is control yourself. You can't control the outcome. If you could do it and you weren't afraid of the outcome, what would it be? So I want to give that to you guys and hope that that helps somebody and something that they got going on. I know it helped me. I started reading the book before I went to Amsterdam a couple of weeks ago, and I just got to a part that was talking about friendships, and in that it was also talking about business relationships. I'm going to let them do that, and I'm also going to let me do what am I going to do in response to that instead of lashing out at the situation and letting it change the trajectory of the rest of my day. Q versus Q Ultimate Business Accelerator. The new rate has increased. If you are an existing client, you will not have to pay this rate if you wanted us to help you with another business. You will get a huge discount if you have a second business. If you want to know what that is, you can email me. So under the Q versus Q program, you're going to get the roadmap to business credit and setup, and you're going to get the platinum funding. Okay. The roadmap to business credit, business setup and credit, you can now purchase that on its own. Okay. That is the fundability team. Okay. You get 1 year of coaching through them, and they are only coaching you through setting up your business and building your business credit score. Okay, that's the only thing the fundability team does. Okay, they don't know anything about grants. They don't know anything about loans. They don't know anything about business plans. None of that. Their only job is to make sure all of the prerequisite that is needed for you to get funding is in place. Okay, so that's when you're going to see the software. So when you signed up, you would have got, where's mine? Where's my personal one? I think it's here. You would have got an email telling you to log in right here. Create your password as soon as you log in. You enter your business details and it says business fundability. This is what's needed to get you funding. Every single step. You cannot skip a step. Okay. You get in, you go to the fundability foundation. If it has a yellow mark, that means it is something that will get you declined for funding, and we need to fix it, and we need to fix it now. So you'll see the fundability team call you, hey, we took a look at the address. Because the address is da-da-da-da-da, this is why it won't allow you to get approved in the back end. So let's talk about who you can use to get a new address. And those options will be here in the software. The goal, your first 3 days, is to get all green marks here. Typically, there are a couple of things that hold you up. The first thing that hold you up is if you're an existing business owner and we have to fix something like the address. That means we have to find you someone to buy an address from. Then you have to go update it with the Secretary of State, IRS.gov, and your bank statements. So when I say 60 days or less, these are some of the things that can hold you up that's out of our control. Okay. If you have to update and wait for government websites to update your information that was out of date. Okay.
Right.
So finish all of this. This is the fundability team. Soon as you get to step 3, which is opening up your first couple of accounts, it tells you right here, you need to have 3 of these vendors. Okay. So you scroll through, you click 3, you open up 3 accounts. That's the minimum. You can do a whole lot more if you want to. You pick a company, you put in your application. As soon as they say, yes, we give you this amount of credit and you have to pay it back in this amount of time for your invoice, then you book a call with me. And when you book a call with me, just 3 approvals, guys. You do not have to wait until they report to the Business Credit Bureau. Then you book a call with me, and I am going to activate the next part of your service, which is called Platinum Funding. Okay. This is included already in what you paid for. Now, as of May 1st, people can do it separately. Okay. They can purchase these packages separately. So now I am going to activate the platinum funding portion of your services. You only have this portion for 3 months. This is when your 60 days start to kick in, guys. Okay. Now you have your own success manager. Okay. Right there. Your success manager is the person you're assigned to for the next 3 months, and they got one job. Their job is to get you funding. They are going to build you a business plan, help you apply for grants, help you apply for loans. They're going to help you register as woman-owned, minority-owned, veteran-owned, disabled-owned, so you can bid on government contracts. But remember, all that government stuff is frozen right now. But this is the part where you get access to the grants app. We build your business plan and start getting you funding. We cannot activate this part until we know your business is set up right. My services is to set you up for long-term success. I don't do quick stuff here because I know how it gets you in a worse situation and way more depressed, less motivated to be a business owner. If you do every single step and you get to the second part, by the time you get here, those first 3 vendors should have reported to the Business Credit Bureau already, one time. That means your business has a credit score. Now, when your success manager start applying for this funding, now It's not going to be based solely off of personal credit. It's going to be based off of personal credit and business credit. And you want that because that'll be the difference from your loan having to be paid back in 72 months versus it having to be paid back in 7 years. You get business terms when you have a business credit score. Again, every single thing about my services is to set you up for long-term success, okay? So Q versus Q program, get to tier 3, book a call with me, then I connect you with your success manager. And that was one of the questions in the chat. The newest package is the Legacy Builder plus Q versus Q Accelerator. The Legacy Builder is good for 1 year as far as getting access to the Q versus Q coaching from the team, okay? But you get 2 years of training from my CPA. When you become a Legacy Builder client, you have my CPA for 2 years because he does the first year of your tax returns, okay? The Legacy Builder is the Stripe loan. Under the Legacy Builder, we are going to create you 5 businesses. We are going to do that for you, okay? You name them, we create them. Well, 4 out of the 5 of your businesses, your holding company, your real estate investment trust, your parent company, and your nonprofit. Those 4 are going to be registered in the state of Wyoming. Your existing business, if it is a LLC, we're going to convert it to a C Corp. LLC don't help nobody, okay? I'm going to just say it that way. So we're going to turn your current LLC, which is operating in your current state, and that's fine. That will be the only business that should be operating in the current state that you live in or wherever it is. We'll convert it for you to a C Corp, and now you're going to have a total of 5 businesses, 4 plus your current business. The purpose of doing this is because if you ever pull up, I'm sorry, let me go back. The Legacy Builder, we're also going to do your articles for you. So we do pay that fee with the Secretary of State in Wyoming. We have your registered agent covered. We do your EIN number. We do your corporate bylaws. You're going to be shifting. It was hard for me in January. You're going to shift from an LLC mindset to a C Corp, a corporation mindset. That's a huge shift, guys. I've been going through it, but I get it now. LLC, you worried about paying yourself a salary. C Corp, you don't have to pay yourself a salary. You don't even have a personal bank account anymore. Why? Because as a C Corp, every single thing from my haircut to my mani-pedi is a business expense. You don't need a paycheck. You don't need to pay yourself at all. Everything goes under the business, under the corporation. All right, guys? So you pay for this, you pay for the Legacy Builder. The next thing that happens is we send you an email, which is a questionnaire asking you, what do you want to name your businesses? About 2 to 3 weeks later, you're going to get this folder from us. It's going to already have your businesses in there, okay? Every business is going to have all the documents, your EIN number paperwork, your articles of incorporation. Once we converted your business in your state, all of this will come already done for you, okay? The difference between an LLC and a C Corp. If you pulled up this document right now, I guess this is bad because the name of my business is my name, but let me click on one of my other ones. When you pull up your EIN number for your current LLC, it looks like this, but it would say your personal name on this also. This is a C Corp. As a C Corp, you are a private C Corp. They have no right to ask who the owner is. So you are completely separate from the business, okay? You are completely separated from your corporation. And that is exactly what you want. Why? Because the next thing we're going to do after we send you these folders is We're going to get you into the software, the Q versus Q program, and you're going to go through every step of this program with every one of your companies. So let me make it make sense. You pay one time for a login from me for this humongous cheat sheet, which is the fundability software. But now you get to use the same login for 5 different businesses instead of having to pay me for 5 different businesses, which is what you would have to do if you only did the Q versus Q Ultimate Business Accelerator by itself. So you go in, you go through all the foundational steps for all 5 of your businesses, start building business credit for all 5 of your businesses, okay? But right here in step 1, it says merchant account. Right here, we're gonna help you open up your merchant account with Stripe, okay? When you open up a merchant account with Stripe, you got 5 different businesses where no information as you as the owner is on it. So you can open 5 different Stripe accounts, okay? When you get into your Stripe account, you're going to do what's called business to business transaction. You do not need any outside clients to get a Stripe loan, okay? When I created my business, when I got my businesses, when I got that questionnaire, I created businesses that need each other, okay? My Pilates studio I just opened, PYT, has to have a physical location. So when I do my physical location, I'm not going to put it in my Pilates studio name. I'm going to put it in my real estate investment trust name. Why? Because now my real estate investment trust, Pressure Investments, can now invoice my Pilates studio every month. FYI, my rent is $21,000 for that location for my Pilates studio. $21,000 a month. So all Stripe is going to see is that Pressure Investment, a real estate investment trust company, is invoicing a Pilates studio in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they're getting invoiced $21,000 a month. So now Stripe is going to see that Pressure Investment is bringing in $21,000 a month for the last 4 or 5 months. Now Stripe is going to offer Pressure Investment a loan based off of $21,000 of income once a month, one invoice from my Pilates studio. Okay. Now, when I created my businesses, I also knew that I'm new at a Pilates studio. So I need a consultant that can tell me how to run a Pilates studio. And that's why I have Pressure One. Pressure One is a consulting firm. It consults what's boutique fitness studios. So anytime I'm doing research on my Pilates studio, I'm doing that research as Pressure One Corporation. So now my Pilates studio gets to invoice Pressure One for consulting services every week. Okay, $1,000 every week. So now, whether I ever get someone in my Pilates studio or not, Stripe is going to see $1,000 being invoiced to another corporation that is needed for a consulting fee. So now Stripe is going to offer my Pilates studio a loan based off of $4,000 a month that was coming in from another corporation. It's called business to business transaction, but you happen to be the same business, the person who owns all the businesses. Because outside of that, I would have had to go find an external consulting firm to help me run my Pilates studio. I would have had to go find a real estate investment trust company to hire to put my lease in their name. I would have had to go hire, so on and so on and so on. So what you're doing is you're rotating your own money through invoicing your own companies, and this is allowing Stripe to see these transactions and offer every single one of your businesses a loan at the same time. That is what the legacy builder is. The most important thing about the legacy builder, guys, that has changed my life. If you are a business owner, you've been a business owner for a while, and you have a Stripe account or you have any merchant account, then you're very familiar with what's called a chargeback. So for me, it completely erases the opportunity for someone give me a chargeback, to challenge that transaction with their bank and say they never got my services, so on and so forth. So now I put myself in a position to always have income, always have these loans coming in and these loan offers coming in from Stripe. They never ask for a social. They never ask for any documents, and they never ask for a time in business. You Stripe account and you keep rotating and paying, invoicing your own businesses, and that shows income. And Stripe gives you a loan based off of the income from you invoicing your own self, your own businesses. Does that make sense? If that doesn't, please ask questions.
Mhm.
Please ask questions. I got some
It
questions.
makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
So Shayna, did I answer your question about the fundability people?
Yes, sorry.
The Quintins, where do you have to be in the process to start applying for grants? I hope I answered that question. The answer is tier 1. You should have 3 approvals from 3 tier 1 vendors in the fundability software. Just
So
approve.
I already have those three.
Awesome. So you should be booking a
Yeah.
call with me. Victoria, your question is, this is how the rich this is how the rich stay rich and pay nothing. Absolutely.